In this video we'll demonstrate how you can export data from a list into an Excel file or an ASCII file. So when you export data from a list, you have a choice of either exporting the data that's currently visible in the list, or if the list is based on a SQL query, you can export the data that is in the list query. So you can see here that in this particular case, in this first list, we have some static data, so the data that is in the list is all currently visible. So if I click the export button and then go ahead and look at my Excel file over here that is created, you can see there's my Excel file and there's all the data that is in the list. On the other hand, if we look at this second list over here, which is based on a SQL database, since this list is paginated, we're only seeing 10 rows of data at a time, but the list query itself has 58 rows in it. So if I go ahead here and export data, since this export definition is based on the data in the list query, we can see that what we see in our Excel file are all 58 rows in the list query. On the other hand, if I go here and do a search, say for only the records in the United States, and then go ahead and export, then we can see now that our Excel file only has data for the USA. So what we're seeing over here is that this export button here is based not on the list, not on the data that's currently visible in the list, but is based on the list query. So let's go back now and take a look at the first export button. So you can see here when we click this export button that when I go ahead now and look at the data in the Excel file, I'll see here that we've customized the Excel file to a certain extent. You can see that, for example, the column name here says first name as one word, but we've made it first name with a space, we've got last name with a space, and then we've taken the salary column and we've called it annual salary. So let's go back now to Action JavaScript and see how this button was defined. So we'll go back now to the UX Builder, and here's our button, and then we'll open up the click event here. We can see that we're using the standard list control actions in Action JavaScript, and that the action that we've chosen over here is the export list data to Excel. So once we choose that, we specify which list we'd like to export the data from, and then here are our settings. So we can either export to Excel or to ASCII. And then after the export file has been created, our options are to either download the file to the user or call an XBasic function. So if we call an XBasic function, then the file that was created by the export is passed into the XBasic function, and a typical use case for this might be to email the exported file to a list of recipients, or maybe upload the exported file to, say, Amazon S3 storage, or whatever you want in the whatever you want to do inside this XBasic function. And then over here you can see we've chosen to customize the data in the Excel file. So for example, for first name, the first name column in the list, we've specified that the column heading is first name with a space in it, and that it's going to be character data with the size of 20 in the Excel file. So, and here for example is our customization of the annual salary column heading in the Excel file. So this is the definition of the button that exports the data that's visible in the list. Now let's go take a look at the button that exports the data from the second list, which is based on a SQL query. So we'll go over here, and now we can see that our list settings allows us to either export the data in the list query or the data that is shown in the list. If we choose data in list query, we can set a maximum number of records. So in this case, -1 means all of the records not subject to any maximum. But we could easily set a maximum number of rows, and then again we can choose to either call an XBasic function after the export has been completed, or we can download the file. So in this video we've shown how you can export the data from a list into either an Excel file or an ASCII file, and optionally call an XBasic function after the export has been completed. Thanks very much for watching.